Alright, what's going on, y'all? So, for today's workout, I do legs. Actually, this is not leg day. Leg day was yesterday, but I didn't really get to it. So I got 100 squats to do, and then I'm gonna go out later on and do lunges at the track. So let's go ahead and get into it. Feet planted on the ground. Make sure your heels stay flat on the ground, about shoulder width apart with your feet. Face forward. Never, don't look down. Keep your spine straight, and then sit back as if there's a chair behind you. All right, let's go. I'm doing sets of 25. All right, that's 5. I kind of like to do them in bursts of 5. It kind of helps me mentally for some reason. That's 10. 15. Because this stuff gets kind of boring sometimes, if I'm honest. All right, 20. And it also is easier to count, well, so to speak. All right, 25. All right, so I take about a minute or 2 rest in between these sets so I can bust these out and then go do my other part of the workout. But speaking of boring, my oldest child said something interesting the other day. She was kind of talking about boredom, and I can't remember exactly what she said. But if you have kids, a lot of times they're looking for you as parents to like find stuff for them to do. And it's always interesting because kids tend to be a lot more creative minded than we are as adults. I think because they don't really have a lot of responsibilities, and they also don't have a lot of the outer crust that the world tends to kind of put on us. And unless we kind of really work hard to break it off and maintain our imagination, creativity. Anyhow, I digress. She was talking about boredom, and she was given some sort of reason that boredom is bad. She was like, being bored is kind of bad because of something. And no offense to my child or whatever. Both myself and my wife were present, and we both kind of chuckled at the rationale. But I can't remember exactly why she said boredom could be bad. But again, a lot of times from my experience, the boredom kind of stems from it's maybe something else that they want to do, like play a video game or get on the laptop or something like that, that they're wanting to do, and so they're only thinking about that thing they want to do rather than the world of things they can do outside, or with their toys or arts and crafts and stuff. We try not to do a lot of screen time and whatnot. Let me get my next set of 25 and I explain why I'm even talking about boredom here. All right, proper form, legs already starting to feel tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. All right, that's 10. 15. All right. 1. 20. 5 more. And I'm 25. All right. So that's 2 sets of 25. All right. So why am I talking about boredom here? The reason why I'm talking about boredom is because working out is kind of boring sometimes. It's kind of boring. And Like even here, when you cranking out just 100 squats or whatever, you know, it's like I'm having to deal with, even before I get to this, my mind is kind of thinking, what else can I do? Sometimes I've listened to something like a podcast or something while I'm working out. But as a tradition, I don't typically listen to stuff when I'm working out. I just kind of prefer to kind of be alone with my own thoughts and kind of like really in real time experiencing the workout. But it's kind of boring sometimes. But contrary to what my child was saying, boredom, I believe, is not a bad thing. My wife said that when she was a kid, whenever she and her siblings would go to her mom and say, "Mommy, I'm bored," and she would say, "That must be because you're a boring person." You know, and I think that's a great way to a great response, because we are inherently creative and we have the ability to, you know, create, to do something else and to think of something different to do. Now, as far as exercise is concerned, exercise can be boring and true. You can do stuff like, you know, join a exciting fitness class or do something like a Peloton, you know, one of those Peloton things, or listen to music and stuff. If you do that, that's cool. But I think even still, to some degree, exercise can be kind of boring. But here's my view. There is a lot of value in this boring stuff, period. And so for me, what I do is I don't focus so much on what I'm doing. I mean, I do enough so I can get good form and whatnot. But the thing is, I think that in our society, we're so used to being kind of stimulated, you know, and always kind of having something kind of going into our mind to kind of like entertain us and whatnot, that it can make the mundane things, which are actually very, very valuable, it can make them like boring, so to speak. But I think it's a good time just to really focus more so, just to really just get in the moment. Get in the moment. Like don't focus on the fact that, man, I'm not doing anything else right now. Just be in the moment. Because exercise, as I've said a few times recently, exercise, I've heard more than one expert say, if there's anything close to a fountain of youth for mankind, it's exercise, because it's so beneficial for health, a variety of things regarding health. It does so much for the body, for the immune system, for the muscles, for the cardiovascular system, for your mental health, and so on and so forth. It's obviously something that we need to be doing. And so I think the thing is, if you're feeling bored, you know, just don't lean into the fact that you're not doing anything else. Just kind of like persist, keep on going. Because another thing for me, and I'll say this and get my next setting, another thing for me is, whether it be this or especially walking or something like that, it allows me to process. And I think as thinking beings, we have to have time to think apart from stuff. And so it helps me to process not only what I'm doing in the moment, but also things that I have going on outside in other areas of my life. And it helps you to kind of decompress. A lot of times we don't really have that opportunity. And then also, well, hold off on that third point. Let me go and get this third setting. I don't know if that was my third point or not, really. My next point, I mean to say. All right, 5. 10. 15. 20. 25. All right. So, um, so what was I saying? So like, just kind of being present and not being scared of being bored during your workout, it helps you to think. And like I said, we're so stimulated by stuff all the time that we don't really understand how important it is for us to think. And I think that's part of the reason why exercise is beneficial for mental health, because it gives you space to think. And then the point I was going to make is, like, literally, sometimes we have these pent-up emotions, probably especially for us guys. We have these kind of pent-up emotions and whatnot. It's something about maybe, pushing weight, heavy weights, or even going for a jog or whatever. It kind of helps you to kind of unload that energy. Of course, I do it a lot with walking and whatnot, and that helps me to kind of, it gives me time to pray, it gives me time to think, and helps me not to worry about stuff or be anxious or even be frustrated, because I have time to, like I say, converse with God. I have time to because sometimes when you're in the midst of a lot of stuff and you're just kind of thinking and whatnot, you're not really thinking about anything productive. You tend to more so kind of think about what bad could happen. And so, the boringness of exercise kind of helps me to pray and process, But if you just determine to push through with the boredom of exercise, then you're going to get into the best shape of your life. That's why I say embrace it. Embrace it, man, because again, I think this is my opinion. I personally think it's a problem that we're so stimulated. I think it makes us less creative. I think it makes us very easily distracted by anything, because we're always looking for something, another meme or another notification or whatever, And I think it also makes us somewhat vulnerable, because when you're constantly looking for something to stimulate you, then you could be more open to other stuff, and there's so much bad information out there that people put out, whether it be traditional media or other people with channels and whatnot. Some people may be putting stuff out there that's just not good for the spirit. So embrace the boredom, man. Embrace the boredom. If you become the type of person who can go go and get your hill sprints in, maybe supposed to do 10-15 minutes of hill sprints, and you just go in there and you get it done. You don't have nothing you're listening to, nothing. You just go out there, get it done. You go on an hour walk, get it done. You go lift weights. You're supposed to lift weights 3 days a week. You go, you bust it out. It's boring. You do whatever you set out to do, get it done. If you become that kind of person who doesn't have to have it to be too exciting, I'm not knocking it being exciting, but if you become that kind of person who can just do it even when it's boring, you're on your way to being in the best shape of your life. All right, let me go ahead and get this 4 set in. I'm going to spare y'all this one, because you kind of know, maybe you know how to do squats now. But thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't already, and see you next time. As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my bodyweight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/SeanB2B Fitness today.